Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jim Ron, and today we're gonna figure out when the world is through the Nightmares demo. First of all, I really wish that developers would stop issuing keys on Keymailer for demo games, but that's a story for another time. Through the Nightmares, this kind of gives me the aesthetic of Ori and the Blind Forest, although in a much more significantly reduced graphical fidelity. This, of course, is a platformer, 2D platformer, and let's see what we got as far as the settings menu. First of all, we have controllers, not going to be rebindable for now at least. We have audio, just on and off, no slider as far as how intense it would be, but hopefully that comes in the full release. Video, full screen, VSync, HDR, even though my monitor doesn't support HDR. Anti-aliasing, volumetric fog, blue, depth of field, obviously it's going to be turned off. And shadow quality. That's the extent of the settings. I'm only supposing that it's going to be looking a little bit better when the full release comes into play. But for now, this is what we got. And there seems to be quite enough content that's going to be coming here, but that's going to be coming soon, later in 2020. So far, what we got is 7 stages that we can play. Let's start with the first one. There's a few mechanics that are introduced in the game, and I really do appreciate, but for now, here's a Sandman who's going to be determined to save the child. I'm not exactly sure what the storyline is here, but as you can see, the majority of the gameplay is focused around avoiding obstacles, but oh, what's this? Minimizing yourself. Well, if you hit the right bumper or trigger, your character is going to be minimized, and you're going to have to do that in order to navigate some of the obstacles that you're going to come across. Just like this one right here. Now, do bear in mind that when you are minimized, you do jump a little bit less height than you would if you were to be full size. So as you can see here, it was necessary in order to progress through the levels. So here's what happens when you die. You come through and you start over from the beginning unless you find yourself a checkpoint. A checkpoint in this game is used a little bit more uniquely than I've seen in other games. This right here is a checkpoint. You pick it up, you can place it down with the X button. Now, when you place it down, you can choose to place it down whenever you want. You can place it down a little bit when you see a difficulty spiking so that you can progress a little bit easier, or you can press it down and place it down whenever you find the checkpoint. But the problem with the checkpoint, not the problem, but the catch with the checkpoint is that when you die, you have a limited amount of respawns. I believe it's about 5, and after that, it gets depleted. So once you do place down the checkpoint, do keep in mind that you don't have unlimited tries. You do have to be a little bit more careful still. Let's see, how did I get over this? Here we go. Now, another thing I discovered was the longer you press the jump button, the longer you will jump, and that's going to be important to find it in the future. Here's a little bit of a problem I have with the game, and it's the bear traps. So if you touch the outside, you die, right? And if you jump on them like that, they will close. If you touch the closed teeth, again, you will die. Now, in my opinion, I feel like if that were the case, I shouldn't die unless I touched the teeth. As you can see there, I died again. And that was because I did in fact touch the outside, the teeth. I kind of disagree with that, but again, it's an opinion. I do like the ambience of the game, and it's really, really pretty. You can see in the background there's eyeballs staring at you. It's pretty nice. It does reminisce a little bit of Ori and the Blind Forest, but again, to a much more reduced graphical fidelity. This was a little bit tricky to get in the beginning when I first played. I'm going to place this down because we're pretty much nearing the end of the level. So, as far as mechanics go, see, right there, I died. And we're gonna give this another go here. I'm not good at platformers. Even my grandma knows that. That's why I'm not a huge fan of them, because I'm just not good at them. I do appreciate... Yep, I died on this one again. This level challenged me the most. Now, there's one more mechanic that I would like to display here before I move on to the final stage, which is a boss fight. And yes, this game does have boss fights, and they work a little bit nicely. That was the last thing I wanted to showcase here, and that is these red woods. You can jump and then press B, and then you will smash them in order to proceed. I did pick up the checkpoint, and I will be placing it right about here. And then I'm going to be proceeding with... Oh, yeah, there you go. Good thing I placed it down. So, there we go again. Minimize ourselves. Wait for the spikes. And we're going to be selecting a level. The 7th level is the boss fight, and that gave me most of the trouble here, so I want to display that before I'm done with it. Here is the troll, and I died immediately. Now, you may notice, I'm going to be quiet here for a second so you can notice the music. That's the extent of the music. It just keeps repeating itself after this. Now, this is a huge jump. It's a massive jump. It's a disconnect from what we got used to in the beginning of the game when we first started playing it, right? And that's an odd choice for me, in my opinion. When you go into the boss fights, the music changes to a little bit more rock, more guitar, electric guitar, and it kind of... It's a departure from the aesthetic that we're used to, and I think it's interesting. I like that the developers are taking chances with these things and it's not predictable. Does it fit though? In my opinion, it doesn't quite 100% fit, so I would have liked to see a little bit more of a similar tone with the ambience. Make it more serious, make it more upbeat, of course, but I think going into a rock set piece that departs severely from the original soundtrack is a little bit, makes it a little bit more difficult to immerse yourself into the story. So as far as the content is concerned, you have 15 levels on this door, and if my calculations are correct, there's going to be another 15, so 45, or maybe more, hopefully more, because 45 levels is not that many. But then again, they could be long enough that it justifies the amount. Maybe they come with some DLC after it. Hopefully not. But depending on the price of the level, 45 levels should suffice. And last but not least, Through the Nightmares does support ultra-wide. This is a demo of an indie 2D platformer that supports ultra-wide. What is the Outer Worlds doing? Interesting. Well, here you have it, guys. This was a short one, a really short one. Through the Nightmares. It's going to be released later this year, hopefully. But for now, you can pick up the demo for free and enjoy yourself 7 levels of an interesting platformer that has a few twists that I personally enjoy. I'm looking forward to see what they come up with in the future. And thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.